Hello everyone, this is Ninja Girl Socket One here, back with another Legend of Korra episode review. This episode is, of course, Book 4, Episode 6, Battle of Zaofu. And let's just say things got really bad in this episode. It starts off, of course, with Sue and her sons trying to make a move and get rid of Kuvira. But of course, the person they find sleeping in what should be Kuvira's tent is actually Julie. By the way, Suyin actually used her mother's technique of stomping the ground and feeling the sonic waves to find out if Kuvira was sleeping in there. And it looked like she was, but like I just said, it was Julie. So, of course, she gets caught, and Kuvira calls her a coward for trying to attack her that way and not attacking her head on. What a jerk. Back with Korra and Jinora, Opal, and the rest of Sue's family, they all want her to go in and fight. But Korra's thinking right now that the best thing to do is just wait for them, and hopefully they'll be okay. And she's also still hoping that they can talk to Kuvira and maybe work some kind of deal out. But, yeah. Kuvira being Kuvira, I don't think so. And Opal, especially, gets pretty upset that Korra does not want to fight and just go into the Avatar stand and go all out. But, actually, I think Korra's being more mature here by saying this. And she's right. It's better to try to work things out diplomatically, but of course it's not going to go that way because of the way Kuvira is. But I do like how mature Korra is being lately. It shows a lot of growth for her. It really does. But when Kuvira comes over the loudspeaker and tells everyone that she has Su Beifong and her sons, everyone's instantly panicking even more, and even more so want Korra to go and fight her. But Korra again says, I'm going to go try to talk to her. Keep calm, I'm going to do everything I can to keep the peace. The scene then switches to Varric's situation. He is, of course, in a jail cell and has a nightmare about how he doesn't have all of his nice things anymore, and he's not being pampered by Julie, things like that. Typical Varric stuff. And then he is woken up by Patar and a couple guards who tell him to get that spirit weapon, the spirit vine weapon, working ASAP, because obviously they want it. But Varric says, well, without Julie, I don't have an assistant. I can't really work on it. So Patar says, okay, you can have one of these guards as your assistant to help you out. But then Varric scares him and says, well, it's pretty dangerous. You could lose your hands if you work on this thing. Which of course freaks the guard out enough to say, why don't we just let Bolin be his assistant, okay? And they end up agreeing to that, so Bolin's not going to a re-education camp, thank goodness. So yeah. Kuvira, the scene switches back to Kuvira and them, and basically lies to Opal, saying that Bolin is actually still on board with what she's doing and all that kind of nonsense. And then says to Korra that she's interfering with Earth Kingdom business, or Earth Empire business, which is ridiculous, but yeah. And then Jinora and Opal, who are also with Korra and everything, they still want her to just fight, go out there and just kick her sorry hide. But Korra at first doesn't want to, but Kuvira then says, "Fine, Avatar, I will fight you. And if you win, you can do whatever you want with zaofu. I win, I get it." So, even though Korra kind of is ready to fight, she agrees and says, "You know what? I have a lot of built-up rage. I'm ready for this. Let's take her down." Basically. So, the fight begins, and for a little bit, Kuvira is actually getting the best of Korra. But Jinora says, "Keep a cool head. She's just wanting to tick you off and make you mess up." So, yeah. Korra does her best, and the fight's still going on. And the scene then switches back again to Varric and Bolin, who begin working together on the machine. And Varric actually says that the real reason he wanted to work with this Spirit Vine project is he wanted to find a new way of making clean energy, and that actually seeing the fight with Vaatu gave him the idea. So that's pretty cool, but now it's obviously been turned into, let's just make a weapon out of it. So yeah. Korra, we then switch back to the fight with her and Kuvira, and she keeps getting knocked down. And Jinora and Opal want to go in to help, but Korra says, "Stay back. I can handle this. Don't interfere. I don't want anyone getting hurt." Basically is what she's telling them. But Kuvira is pretty good, so Korra's kind of getting her butt kicked still. And then again, the scene switches back to Varric and Bolin, and we learn that he actually came up with a plan. He decided to make a bomb out of the spirit vines, and he actually covered all its bases, because even though the bomb is on a timer, he also has a remote. So, clever Varric. And he at first tells Patara, "Oh, we're just going to go down with the ship, so you guys are going to leave, we stay." So, and of course he goes off on how Julie will be known as a traitor for not sticking with him, because he's obviously still mad about that. I would be too. So yeah. The scene then switches again back to Korra and Kuvira's fight, and since Korra wanted to leave it for her last resort, and it's kind of getting to that point, she goes into the Avatar state, awesomely I may add, and actually starts kicking Kuvira's sorry hide, and does pretty well. I will give her credit. But then, right when she's about to land the final blow with a giant piece of earth, with her earth bending, she sees her Avatar state self again in Kuvira's face. And she freaks out, and she comes out of the Avatar state. And Kuvira calls Korra weak. Which kind of ticks me off, because Korra's anything but weak. But of course, it's just to get under her skin, so. But it's getting under mine, because I like Korra, and I think she's kick butt. But anyway, that's my opinion. Yeah. Opal and Jinora then use their airbending to hold back Kuvira's army the best they can. Jinora then uses her spiritual power to call her siblings and say, "Get us out of here, we need help." So yeah, Milo is of course very eager to get going and actually get involved with the fighting. So yeah. Then we get back to Bolin and Varric. And Varric confirms that it wasn't just a lie to give them a chance to escape, that there really is a bomb on the train, and it is going to explode. So Bolin starts freaking out, and then finds a way for them to escape through the bottom of the train. So they lift up the grates. Bolin starts to leave first, but then he grabs Varric and says, "I hate you," and they both jump down through the grates to the train tracks and manage to escape before it blows up. So they are free, And hopefully they get back to Korra and the rest of Team Avatar soon. But right now they're probably wandering in the middle of nowhere at the moment. But yeah. So, back with the Kuvira situation. It's pretty clear that she has won. And Janora's siblings arrive and they get on Pepper. That's the name of their flying bison. And Opal is, of course, freaking out and worried about her mother and her brothers. But Suyin tells him, Opal, just get out of here. We're gonna be alright, to try and calm her down. But it's sad what happens. Even though she's leaving, Opal just says, okay, I love you, please be careful, or something along those lines. I know she tells her mom that she loves her very much, and it's pretty sad. Later on that evening, Kuvira gathers all the citizens of Zaofu, and says, I have won, bow to me. Basically. And everyone bows but Patar Sr. and Patar's other brother. Patar Jr.'s other brother, I forget his name. Which of course makes Patar Jr. kind of upset. So he goes up to his dad and brother and says, bow to her, bow to the Great Uniter. And Patar Sr. just says, I'm so disappointed in you. Which makes Patar Jr. even more angry, and he tells a few guards to take them away, because anyone who didn't bow was going to be arrested. Forgot to mention that. So yeah. Then Kuvira talks to Patar and Julie, who Patar then lets Kuvira know what happened with Bolin and Varric, and that they are supposedly dead, but they want to push forward with his experiments, continue on the research with the spirit vines, and that Patar Jr. will still need an assistant. So, guess who it is? Julie. So yeah. Not good. Kuvira has taken Zaofu, and they are still going to move forward with experimenting with the spirit vines, and Korra is still not 100% quite yet. And she still is seeing her avatar state self, which is weird. I thought that was a side effect of the poison still in her body, which she got rid of. But yeah, not good at all. Things are really heating up fast. So I really hope Korra can just find herself again, because this is not good. Kuvira has to be stopped, and even Korra knows it now. And I don't think she's going to try to be diplomatic with her again, because that obviously will not work. But yeah, that is my review, and I hope you enjoyed it. And until next Friday, when we see what else is going to happen, I will see you all later.